Welcome in, you guys. Cowboy here. Today we're going to be going over my Magplar that I've been rocking in PvP. Now, I think this is a pretty good build that anybody can have success on. I've been enjoying it a lot, and it's just, well, as you guys can see in front of you, it's got a lot of burst damage, right? It's very sustainable, very durable. It's been great for me in 1v1s, 1vx. I really enjoy it in small scale. I think that's where it shines the best, right? When you have a small group with you, we provide a very unique debuff that I don't think anybody else, I haven't come across anybody else running one of these sets that's applying it, and so I think that makes it a very unique build. But anyways, guys, if you appreciate the content, please hit that sub button. It helps me out tremendously, it means the absolute world to me, and hopefully it'll help you guys out as well. It costs you nothing, and hopefully you get some pretty cool builds out of it. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the build, guys. Now, we are running that weird set that I was talking about is going to be Farstrider. If you're unfamiliar with it, Farstrider, whenever you hit somebody with a blink, charge, leap, teleport, or pull ability, you're going to decrease their crit resist by 40% for 10 seconds, and it's going to give you that same amount that you debuff from them. So you're stealing people's crit resist, essentially. Now, doesn't sound that great on paper, right? Like, I think that's why this set gets really, really, really overlooked. But in terms of functionality, we're going to make this work, and it's so cool because think of all the different ways there are to get crit resist in this game, right? You come out with a base of like 1k crit resist, like just everybody has a base 1k crit resist, right? You can then throw an impin, which is going to give you, what, let's see, 130 per piece, right? So you can get that up to like comfortably almost 2k, I would say, just from that. You can also stack on Rallying Cry, right? Rallying Cry is going to be 1,500. You can get like 500 out of CP pretty easy. You can get Transmutation. Most PvP healers are running Transmutation. That's another 1.5k. Right, there are all these sources for crit resist, but there's nothing in the game other than Farstrider that debuffs that from an enemy, and nobody's using this set, which is why I really wanted to make a functional build with it. So that's what we got here, guys. Let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty of it. Now, we'll talk more about traits and weights for gear. That is really important for min-maxing this to be as tanky as you can be and do as much damage as you can do. So don't skip out, don't leave the video yet, but let's go ahead and talk about the sets we're running, and then we'll talk about that right after. Okay, so mechanical acuity, guys. Let me go ahead and swap so you guys can see this clearly. This is a very, very important set for us. This is what really gives us our big burst window. Now, like I just said, guys, we are decreasing enemy crit resist, and we're also stealing it, so we're going to be really tanky just from that alone. They're going to be taking a lot more crit damage, and then this is just going to guarantee that we crit non-stop in this like 8 to 15 second window, right? That's going to be our burst window where we're killing people. Absolutely phenomenal set, guys. I think it gets overlooked. This is a crafted set. You could just have somebody make this for you, and that makes this build really, really easy to, come by, because you can pick your weights and you can pick your traits without having to waste those precious transmutes on them. Then next up, guys, we are using Engine Guardian for our monster set. Now, it gives us a really good sustain, which is why we have it. It is a little bit random, right? That is one of the cons to it. But one of the other ups, other than the amount of resources it gives you, is it acts as a bit of a meat shield. Now, if your enemies are not tab targeting you in PvP and you're doing some kiting or whatever, that Engine Guardian is going to place itself between you and them. And it's got about 40k HP. They're just going to be wasting attacks unless they tap target you, essentially. So that is one of the things I really like about it. But like I said, guys, it is very, very, very inconsistent. So if you don't like that, what I would do if I had this set, I just don't have the keys to spare right now, Roxa is going to be a much more consistent alternative, and it's going to give you that consistent sustain that you might need. And lastly, for the back bar, I'll just go ahead and show you the skills on our back bar. The only thing that we have that can be modified by any like arena type weapon is Elisus, so we're taking the Vaitchan Perfected. Now, I do recommend you get this. It doesn't have to be Perfected. Perfected just gives you like 1k extra pin. That doesn't really matter because this is our healing bar, right? So pin doesn't really matter too much on that. Perfected's not going to make or break it. Just run the normal Vaitchan or Vaitren, whatever you say that. My friend Pure told me about this all the time. I can't ever say this word right, but run that, get this, or it doesn't even have to be the ice. I do recommend the ice because the passives, when you look at the ice, right here, Ancient Knowledge, blocking costs 36% less stamina and increases the amount of damage we can block by 20%. That's pretty important, but you could also get like the Inferno or Lightning, like whatever your RNG will allow, whatever your patience will allow. But in terms of traits, guys, let's go ahead and start with the Ice Staff here. Now, I personally recommend that you go with an infused Ice Staff because that's going to let you get a roughly like 400 weapon spell damage enchant. Like that's going to increase the value of that enchant right there. Not only that, it's going to increase the uptime. So when you hit that Elisus and then you weapon swap, it's going to keep reapplying that weapon damage enchant during your burst, which is going to be really good for you. The other alternative, guys, is like I said, this is our healing bar, this back bar right here. You could also go defensive just to be a lot tankier on it. It's going to give you like 3k extra armor, which is pretty good because we're not at cap yet. But for the front bar, guys, we are going to take Mechanical Acuity. Sorry that popped up. I don't need to distract anybody. Mechanical Acuity here, guys. This is just going to allow us to really control the proc, right? We don't want it proccing on our back bar when we're not trying to kill somebody. We only want it on the front bar when we're going in for that burst. Now, we take the Battle Axe specifically because, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you look at the 2H right here, heavy weapons, swords give you 258 weapon spell damage, right? That's cool, not what we want. Axes give us crit damage, right? So we already have 100% crit chance from the Mechanical Acuity during our burst window. We already have... I'll go ahead and spoil it. Onslaught. This is going to give us 100% of our target's pin, or their armor, I should say, as penetration after we use this during our burst window, right? So our pin is covered, our crit chance is covered. So we really just care about crit damage multipliers and getting our weapon and spell damage up as much as we can. I'm so sorry about that. But specifically, guys, you want to get your spell damage up because another Templar passive increases it by 10%. Anyways, so that's why we take Nerd Honed here, and that's why we take the Battle Axe. Don't take Sharpened, don't take a Mace, or don't take a Sword. I guess Sword's not terrible, but trust me, Battle Axe is better. And that also reminds me, guys, Khajiit. You want to be Khajiit with this build. Now, again, for the Farstrider Amulet, guys, weapon and spell damage enchants for the necklace and the rings. I have these as robust. Do not do as I do. I'm just poor on transmutes because I've been spending all my stuff on PvE, trying to get PvE builds out, getting skins and stuff, getting like flex stuff. But take these as infused, guys, because like I said, we already have our pin covered, we already have our crit chance covered. We don't really need the max stam here. Max mag wouldn't be bad, but trust me, infuse is going to be doing better for you guys. Now, when we get into the gear, this is where things get a little bit more complicated. Now, we are going to take a heavy head. I recommend you go infused on the head. And I recommend you go infused on the pants. The pants are also going to be heavy. Now we're going to take a heavy chest. This is going to be reinforced. And then for our small pieces, guys, you're going to take medium boots, impin, medium gloves, impin, and then now my shoulder is light and sturdy. This is bad. This is because I don't have transmutes and I'm low on keys. But you do want to take medium as your weight here, and you want to take impenetrable as your stat here. You could also technically go divines because we're stealing people's crit resist with this. You could technically go divines on all of your small pieces, such as your shoulder, gloves, belt, and boots, but I would rather have the consistent tanky of impin, so trust me on that. But do what you want to do. And then lastly, guys, we're gonna have that light armor waist because the waist gives the least amount of armor. That's why we choose this item for that. And then again, just impin. It's very simple. And then the reason for that, guys, I'll go ahead and show you guys really quick. The Undaunted. Now, you need to do your hard modes and your daily Undaunted quests to get this up, but it's going to give you this Undaunted medal right here. So each different like weight that we have, heavy, medium, and light, we're going to get 2% increased max health, stamina, and magicka. This is going to help with your sustain as well as make you just a little bit more tanky and just a little bit harder hitting as well. Now let's go ahead and talk about skills really quick, guys. So I am a vampire. I've been really using blood for blood, but we'll start with toppling charge. Okay, guys. This, excuse me, is how we're applying our Farstrider set. This is what's proccing that. Um, this is also going to be our stun, our CC, right? It's going to apply major protection to us, which is really, really good. It's also going to apply minor protection via one of the passives that's in the skill tree. So hitting this button, we're getting 15% less damage taken. We're CCing somebody. So you can use this defensively to peel people off of you, or offensively, right as you're about to burst. Again, either way, defensively, it gives you crit resist. If it's offensively, you're debuffing somebody's crit resist. And then not only that, guys, offensively, this is also going to set the enemy that is hit off balance. Very, very, very good. That's going to give you 10% increased damage if you have the Exploiter CP as well. But we'll talk about CP at the end of the video. Next up, guys, Blood for Blood. I love this ability. It's phenomenal. It really helps you like turn the tables on people. If you guys saw the intro, you watched that, you can see this Nightblade tried to gank me and got me to like 30% health. I kind of like cleansed, weapon swapped, and then hit him with one of these, and it hit for like 10k. And then I hit him with a onslaught right after, and he just died. He just died from dots. Very good ability. But if you don't have this, guys, if you don't want to go Vampire, because Vampire does make you a little more weak to fire, it also makes sustaining a little bit more difficult. Puncturing Strikes is a really good alternative. Now you're going to take this, you're going to put the Puncturing Sweep. This is going to keep you topped off while you're bursting people. You don't have to ever like go to your back bar. You might still, but like you shouldn't need to go to your back bar as often. And then make sure you guys pick up the Burning Light passive. I don't have it in because I'm in a skill point deficit right now. But Burning Light is just free damage. If you're not taking this, you're gimping yourself. Power of the Light, guys, this is going to be Dawn's Wrath. This is one of my favorite abilities in the game. This provides a great deal of our burst. So basically, you sit this on your target when you're about to try to annihilate them, right? And this is your timer, right? This is going to give you 6 seconds from the time you hit this ability to get them low health. And what I like to do, right? You're in your back bar, you hit your LE sus, right? You weapon swap over, same target you just LE sussed, hit the power of the light on them. That's your 6-second timer. It's already started. You already, because you've been on this back bar and you've done damage, your, what do you call it? Mechanical acuity's already procced, right? I immediately toppling charge, and then I start hitting that blood for blood on the target. About the time that this is going to pop, you can hit Radiant Glory, and that's pretty much going to execute anybody. Now, again, during our burst windows, you do want to kind of work Onslaught in here. I recommend a different, like, burst in that situation. Again, LE sus your target, Power the Light your target. Then I would hit the Onslaught, Toppling, Blood for Blood, and then Radiant. Because usually after the Blood for Blood, people try to dodge roll. And dodge roll does not save you from beam. It's a channeled effect. It's not a projectile or anything. So there's no roll in this, right? And just the psychology of that really gets a lot of people, and you're gonna catch 90% of players with that combo. But anyways, moving on. If you don't know what beam is, guys, Radiant Glory. This is just gonna be an execute. Now I do take the morph that gives us sustain and a little bit of healing because, like I said, Blood for Blood is, it kills us, right? Costs 2k health per click. Right about the time that we're getting somebody into execute, we're probably about to drop into execute, and so having this beam heal to kind of bring us out of that danger zone can be very nice. It can absolutely save your life. Next up, Channel Focus, guys. This is just a tremendous ability. It's going to help us with our mag recovery. It's going to give us that major resolve. It's going to give us a very slight heal. It's increased by 200% if you stand in the circle, but most PvP situations won't allow for that, so just use it as a buff. But Onslaught is our ult. Now this is a very easy one to use. Does 10k damage, right? That's unbuffed 10k damage tooltip, and then it's going to have 100% pin. So next up, LE sus. I use this because it applies burning, chilled, and concussed. The pin buff is really good for our team, right? So we want to keep this active on every target we're in if we're in any kind of small scale. But primarily chilled, guys. Chilled is it applies minor brittle, which is 10% increased weapon and spell, or not weapon and spell damage, 10% increased critical damage taken. That shield effect, and that's really good. And the concussion can also apply minor vuln, which is just like, again, more free damage. So very good to use right before you go into your combo. Echoing Vigor, guys. This is the stacking morph. Now you can take the green morph, the resolving. It'll make you a little bit tankier, but I really enjoy having the echoing because I like that 16-second uptime. Now, if you're gonna take the sweeps, puncturing sweeps, I would take the green morph. But if you're gonna stay vampire, having this constant healing while you're hitting that blood for blood, yes, it's not gonna let you drop down too much on health to get that 75% additional damage, but it's still really good because you're not going to accidentally off yourself while going on the offensive. Same thing with this, guys. Keep this up. Living Dark is an amazing heal over time whenever you're getting pressured. This is probably one of our highest healing abilities, honestly. It's just keep this up at all times, especially in combat. Extended Ritual. This is a cleanse. Just pull negative effects off of you when you're getting overwhelmed with stuff. A lot of 1vx situations, you want to keep mobile. This is really good for that. You just keep hitting this every like 3-4 seconds. Cleanse everything. You don't really have to worry about dots too much while you're kiting, snares too bad while you're kiting, and you'll be good. It's also a really good heal over time, both for you and your allies. They can purge everything off with the synergy. Pretty standard stuff. And then lastly, Honor the Dead is our last active ability here. This is our big burst heal, guys. Now, I find block casting this when we're getting pressured is usually enough to keep us alive, but you will run out of mag if you have to spam it too much, and then you'll be sitting there with a lot of stam. So I do recommend dodge rolling a little bit on this, guys. We are in like 4 medium here. It's pretty cheap to roll. Utilize it. Utilize both your resource pools. And lastly, for our ultimate here, we have Practiced Incantation. I don't like to use this ult primarily because we should be using this one pretty much at 150 ult to get a kill every single time, or whenever our burst is up, right? So if we're throwing that away, because that's where all our pin comes from, if we're throwing that away on Practiced Incantation, it better be for a good reason, like our entire team is about to get wiped by a bomber, and this is the only way we can save them. We've run out of stamina and magicka, right? We can't kite, we can't block cast heals. You know, you got nothing, right? This is the last thing that you can do to possibly save yourself. Hit this, hope you get an Engine Guardian stand proc, you'll be cooking. Or if you got Roxa, you'll be fine, you'll be good. You just let this sit its whole duration out for 8 seconds. You're probably not going to die unless you're getting really zerged down, and yeah, you'll be good. Alright, so that's it for the skills, guys. In terms of race, now I am a Nord. This is going to make me a little bit tankier because of Rugged. It's also going to give me a little bit faster ult regen. This is not the race that I would recommend. This is just because I enjoy Tank Templar right now. It has been so fun to do for PvE. That's why he's a Nord. That was his purpose. If I were going to respec a character around this build, you would want to be Khajiit, because Khajiit has that 12% increased damage as well as increased sustainability. And your ult, I'm getting more ult than my mechanical acuity cooldown right now. You don't need that much ult on this build. You'd probably be getting your mechanical acuity off cooldown at the same time as Onslaught if you were to run Cat. So that's why I recommend that. Let's quickly talk about CP. Well, let's touch on Mundus. Now we are taking the Shadow Mundus because this gives us crit damage. But yeah, CP. Now this is not going to be accurate CP for this build, but we'll talk about what you should use versus what I have. Now, you do want Fighting Finesse. This is correct. All right. Fighting Finesse is really good. It's just going to, again, crit multipliers, another 8%. Wrathful Strikes is another one that I would recommend. Again, it's just, right, we have Pin, we have crit chance. We want to get as much weapon and spell as we can. That's coming from this. That's phenomenal. You can also take Untamed Aggression. This is a really good one. And then the last one that I would suggest is going to be Exploiter, because our toppling charge, when it sets people off balance, you're getting that off balance damage plus the Exploiter, which is just going to be phenomenal in terms of that burst window that we have going on there. But that's what's up. For the red tree, we'll go ahead and touch on that really quick. Expert evasion. This helps phenomenally when you're dealing with rolls. Juggernaut. Whenever you have crowd control immunity, you just take less damage. It's a freebie, right? That's a really good CP. Slippery is an absolute must-have. If you do not have Slippery in PvP, you are throwing. Now that being said, I play a lot of non-CP BGs and stuff, and when I go into like sewers, it's non-CP, so do note that. But it's what it is. And then lastly, guys, Pain's Refuge. We should be purifying everything off of us, but if there's ever a situation in which we cannot be, Pain's Refuge is pretty clutch, because more than likely we're going to be benefiting from that 20% damage mitigation that this gives when it hits the fan, you know what I mean? So, and then lastly, I guess we'll touch on Green Tree. You guys don't need my help on Green Tree, but I like to start at Breakfall. Max this out, because there is actually a lot of fall damage in PvP when you're doing open world. It happens. Soul Reservoir is not a bad one. I always go up Wanderer, Steadfast Enchantment, just quality of life, Rationer, and then Liquid Efficiency. And then where you go from there doesn't really matter, although there's a nice one right here. War Mount, if you're PvPing in open world, it sucks getting ganked off your horse. This is counterplay for that. So anyways, without any further ado, guys, again, if you made it this part in the video, congratulations. Thank you so much for being here, so much for helping my watch time, and please hit that sub button. I'm trying to get monetized so I can bring you guys content full time, bring you guys spicy builds full time, and again, cost you nothing, and it means the absolute world to me. But peace out, GGs, and expect my next one pretty soon.